What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Eddie with DIY Basics. Today I want to talk about one of the biggest challenges when doing tile installations, and that's getting accurate cuts. So a few years back, I came up with a concept based on another jig that I had purchased for doing floor installations, and I decided to apply the same method to my wall cuts, and it worked out very, very well for me. You know, the idea when you're doing these projects, if you want to get good at what you're doing, the idea is to, you know, to develop repeatable processes where you can come up with some sort of system that you can use pretty much continuously and repetitive, and have the same results each time without having to, you know, continue doing math and kind of, you know, reinventing the wheel every single time you come to a new cut or a new corner or something like that. So this process is pretty simple, and what it entails is basically using the dimension of the piece that you're working with. In this case here, we're working with the small 4 1/4 inch tile, and so basically that, when I talk about just using the one dimension, that's the dimension we're using. But there's only one tweak we have to make to it before we actually come up with our final dimension that will be used throughout the entire job. And that's going to be determining what our joints are going to be and how much of a gap we want at the wall. So in this case, I don't know if you noticed, but these are old school tile here. There's like the old school 4x4 tiles that you'd see on a lot of backsplashes. And they have like these little bump outs on the ends there. Usually the tiles today, they're just rectified. You don't see any kind of built-in kind of spacer, but this is a built-in spacer, and it's made so that you don't have to worry about, you know, using spacers or making sure that they're sitting apart from each other at a certain point. So these are pretty much built in. They're about a 32nd, I would say, a piece. So when you put two tiles together, you wind up with about a 16th inch joint, which is ideally what you want in this situation, and they look like this. So when you're measuring this tile, obviously you want to know what that dimension is, right? So when you measure from the back, from bump to bump, you see that it's right there. It's hovering around 4 1/4, just slightly over, almost 4 5/16, right? So what I like to do is I take that measurement. I say, okay, so my measurement that I'm working is 4 5/16, and what do I want? What do I want at the end of my piece? So I figured I want at least another 1/16 to 1/8 at the end, so I have somewhere to caulk or grout depending on what I'm going to be doing in that corner. So since I know I'm working with 4 5/16, I'm just going to add another 1/16 of an inch. That brings me up to 4 3/8. That's going to be my dimension for this entire job, right? So the way this works, and this is a square piece, so that means I can use that dimension when I'm doing my horizontal cuts, and I'm also going to use the same dimension when I'm doing my vertical cuts. But if this was like, say, like a subway tile, 3x6 or something like that, then obviously you would have two dimensions. You would have your horizontal dimension and you have your vertical dimension. But that's it. Once you determine what those dimensions are, that's what you're going to be using throughout the entire job. So in this case, we know that we're working with 4 3/8, right? So what we do is we do our tile installation. We started, you know, just for demonstration purposes, we started on this side, we worked all the way over, and now we have a cut piece. So what you do is, instead of measuring the opening, oh, it's 2 1/2, I want a 1/16 and an 1/8, and you got to do the math, take off 3/16, and you know, it could get a little daunting. You have mud on the wall, you got all kinds of stuff going on. So the easiest way to do it is just use that dimension that we talked about, and then you don't even have to think about it. So we know we're working with 4 3/8, right? So just take your tape measure, bump it up against the wall you're gonna cut to, come back and mark on the piece that's already set on the wall at that 4 3/8 inch mark, as you can see right there, right? Then what you do is you come back to the other side of the piece. In other words, you come back to where that piece starts on the other side of it, and you measure back to that mark you just made. And as you can see there, it's 2 3/8. That becomes your cut. So now you make a piece that's 2 3/8 of an inch. I went ahead and did that, right? You can see there, that's 2 3/8 of an inch. Now you just pop that piece in place, and it fits like a glove. You see that? It fits like a glove. has a nice little 16th to an 1/8 joint on the corner there, so you can either caulk it or grout it, whatever you need to do. But you're going to be able to do this consistently. You just basically measure back from the wall the dimension that you're working with, and then you measure back, and that measurement back is going to be your cut dimension. Once you cut it, you put it in place. Might have to watch this a few times to actually get the grasp of what I'm saying, but I mean, it's when you get it, it's a game changer. Measure back 4 3/8, turn around. This piece is not here. Just pretend this is the void we're filling. Measure back right onto that last piece, 4 3/8. Measure back from the edge of that last piece. Whatever that mark measures, that's your cut. 2 3/8 it is. 2 3/8 fits right in there like a glove. All right, guys. Don't want to beat a dead horse. Just wanted you guys to get a little understanding. I hope this tip helped. It's really going to make a difference in your installs and the outcome of your cuts. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.